Hi everyone, this is Robin McAuley, and you are listening to Thunder Underground podcast. And check in with Trent, he'll tell you what's going on.
Welcome to episode 410 of the Thunder Underground podcast. Trent here as always, and this week is another great one because Robin McAuley has returned to the podcast. Robin's been on here a few times previously. This time he's back. He's got a brand new solo album coming out later this month. He also has new music with Black Swan coming later this year. We're going to talk about both those things and many other things as well. But before we jump into this talk with Robin, I need to let you know who sponsors this podcast. And that would be DEB Concerts, a promoter based right here in the Tulsa area, who've brought tons of great artists to the downtown Tulsa area throughout the years, whether it be to the club level, the arena level. They also book the Roadhouse stage, the DEB Concerts stage at Rocklahoma every single year. This year, Rocklahoma just recently announced the window for ticket renewals, so that means that ticket on sale and, of course, the lineup should be coming here shortly within the next month or two, you would expect. And, of course, once that happens, DEB Concerts, of course, will let you know. We'll let you know. Rocklahoma will let you know. Follow all the websites, debconcerts.com. Follow them on our socials. Facebook, Instagram, and X are all DEB Concerts. And, of course, we keep you up to date right here as well. We've also got Sunset Tattoo, a tattoo shop located in Midtown Tulsa. Their tattoos are done, get them proper. They're state licensed. They've got well over 25 years of experience from Jake Thompson and his crew over there. It's Native American owned. There's a female artist on staff full time. If you give them a call or shoot them a message ahead of time, you can set up a time to come in and talk about work you're looking to have done. If you've got an idea ready to go, they can obviously help you with that. If you're looking for some help in bringing an idea together, they're great at that as well. So hit up their socials. That is Sunset Tattoo Tulsa on both Instagram and Facebook. There are tons of photos on there for you to check out. I've had tattoo work done by Jake more than once, and I'm happy with it. I'm going to have more done in the future. I know many other people that have as well. So hit up Sunset Tattoo and tell them you heard about them right here on Thunder Underground. All right, before we jump into this interview with Robin, I didn't have much to talk about this week, but I wanted to mention that the brand new album from the Night Flight Orchestra called Give Us the Moon just came out this past Friday. And Give Us the Moon is a perfect title for a Night Flight Orchestra album, as is the cover, looks in grand fashion. But the music is the most important thing, and I had the chance to listen to this thing once through so far, and it's fantastic in the sense that every single one of this band's album is. And I just bring this up because it's a band that, this is their fifth or maybe sixth full-length album now. And it's, quote-unquote a side project from some guys in the heavy metal world. And I think there's so many more people outside of not just heavy metal, but people that love hard rock, people that love rock and roll in general, especially, that big, huge arena rock sound of the 70s and 80s. That's what the Night Flight Orchestra excel at. So I just wanted to throw this out there because I know people listening that love Robin McAuley, I would assume, love some of that AOR level rock from the 80s because, this man, while he was doing stuff in, bands with Michael Schenker, he also performed with Survivor for a while after that, and he's done things with Raiding the Rock Vault, which focuses on a lot of songs from that era. So I know that if you're a fan of Robin and you have not heard the Night Flight Orchestra, it doesn't sound like Robin, but it's along the vein of rock and roll that I think you would enjoy. So seriously, delve into this. It's this band encapsulates this time period so well. Give Us the Moon, brand new album from Night Flight Orchestra. Amazing vocals from Bjorn Speed Strid from Soilwork. This man is a unheralded legend in the hard rock heavy metal world, in my opinion, so check this out. All right, so jumping into the subject at hand, which would be Robin McAuley. He has a brand new album called Soulbound, which will be out February 28th. A little under a month from now, the end of this month. You can grab this album. This is his third solo album in recent memory under the Frontiers label. This is his third album. Some in the past, but this is kind of on this vein of his career. In these three albums, or at least the first two, I haven't had the opportunity to hear this third one in its entirety, but I've heard a few songs and they are very excellent in the vein of what you expect from this man, just like the previous two albums are. And if you're a person that haven't heard those, I implore you to check out the two previous albums as well. Standing on the Edge and Alive are both fantastic. And this man has been busy, busy, busy over this past 6, 8, 10 years. He's also got the band Black Swan, which features Reb Beach on guitar, Jeff Pilson on bass, and Matt Starr on drums. Fantastic, fantastic band. We talk a little bit about that. They have almost completed, he talks about that here coming up in the interview, their third album, which will be out at some point later in this year. And just the same as these previous two solo albums that Robin has put out in the last few years, the previous two Black Swan albums from the past few years are excellent as well. This band is another band that a lot of people have slept on that you need to check out. It is heavy, heavy rock and roll at its very finest. And, you with the four guys I mentioned, you can't expect anything less. Robin has, like I said, when I kicked this off, Robin has been on this podcast multiple times before, most recently episode 369. Before that, he was on episode 255. He also was a part of the Eddie Van Halen tribute episode we did back after Eddie Van Halen passed away in 2020. That was episode 292. And that episode featured 14 guests. So 13 other guests besides Robin McAuley speaking about, their fandom, their friend, whether if they were friends, their fandom, their friendships, their world, and how Eddie Van Halen affect their world when it comes to music and life and everything in between. 14 great interviews to hear on that one, with Robin being one of them. So that's, one of my all-time favorite episodes, if not my all-time favorite, just because of, how it came together, how much is involved in it. It's like a 3.5-hour episode. So just check that one out. Even if you're just a Robin fan, check that one out for his partner, Frank Cannon from Tesla, Paige Hamilton from Helmet. Tons of great other artists are on that thing. Check out 292 as well. All right, so with all that being said, let's just jump into this. Here is Robin McAuley.
Last in Line.
Yeah.
I know all those guys.
Yeah.
Happy New Year, by the way.
Same to you. And congrats on I saw you had a grandson.
Oh, yes, we had a brand new first-timers.
Oh, first time. Wow, okay.
First-timers, so much excitement around the McAuley clan right now.
Yeah. Yeah, that might reshape your reshape your 2025, just being more of a stay-at-home, wanting to babysit type situations?
Oh, I don't know. We'll allocate certain days, and when Daddy's gone, Mommy will be home, or we have another son. So,
okay.
I think he likes being Uncle Jamie. So,
right. You're in the LA area, right?
We're in the LA area. About an hour and a half south of us is Malibu, and about an hour and a half south, or east rather, is the Pasadena fires. Okay. And in 36 years, I have never, ever, ever seen anything like it in my life. We saw some photos this morning, and Pacific Palisades is flattened. I mean, it is flattened. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of acres. I think it's almost 16,000 acres already. And I mean, it's a war zone. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
No water late into the night. And it was so bad, of course, you couldn't get air support. And last night, Hollywood, up in the hills, a fire broke out. And dude, within minutes, it was heading down to Hollywood Boulevard. And I'm going, this is surreal.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
seeing
a really bad
video
movie.
and photos, it's like a movie. It doesn't even seem realistic,
Just a bad movie, a really bad movie, So, and the winds are kind of a little calmer today, still pretty strong, but it shifts. It shifts so fast, and those embers just take off.
Yeah.
It's unreal. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's restaurants I've known down on the beachfront for like more than 30 years, gone, just wiped out.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Wow.
And I think 5 people so far lost their lives in Pasadena. Horrendous. It's just awful.
Yeah.
Just
What an unbelievable shame.
it
I'm out
is.
here in the Midwest and it's pouring snow, so it's just, I mean, it's just
Oh,
crazy
geez.
that, you got the two extremes going on,
And that's what they are. It's so extreme. It
Yeah.
really is. Well, thank God you're safe. We're good right now. So
It's
let's
good to
hope we
hear.
keep it that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for asking.
Of
Thanks.
course. Well, jumping into the music, you've had, Till I Die out for about a month and Soulbound just came out today. What's the response
Yes.
been like on these two tracks so far from fans and critics and everything you've heard?
Well, the fans love it. My fans love it, which is good.
Yeah.
You put the music out, you do your best, and you go, I think it's pretty cool. And people always say, "Hey, when am I going to hear something new?" And here it is. And in this day and age, you just hope for the best. It gets up on YouTube, and the most I say is like, give it a like, share it, step and repeat, and play it as loud as you can. Yeah,
Well,
so it's been very positive, thank God. It's good.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Soulbound, just came out, like I said, just came out today, actually, that we're recording this.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about why that song was, the perfect song to be the title track of this album.
So written by two great Swedish writers, Teresa Persson and Jan Ackerson, and I had um, I had submitted all of the songs for this record. Wanted it to be a lot more edgier than the last two. Um, Kind of midway, my my old stablemate Alessandro Del Vecchio left Frontiers to pursue other stuff. Aldo Lenobile came in as the new A&R guy, and so I started working with him as my new producer. We discussed it, how we wanted to sort of taper this one, how do we want it to sound, and then he said, I think we could do it a couple of different songs. So I think another 4 or 5 came to my plate. I listened to them. Um, Soulbound was one of those. I loved the structure of it. I loved that sort of heavy symphonic kind of a sound, and I loved the melody. Wasn't exactly my cup of tea how it was presented at first, and I went, "Can I sort of dig in here and see if I can make it mine?" And that's what we did, and I'm really happy, and I loved the title, and I went, "I'd love to go with this as the title," and they went, "If you want," and so there you have it. That's how it happened. It was like it landed on my desk, and I went, "I really like this." Demoed it, then recorded it, and I went, changed a few things, and I went, I like this. Yeah, I love the sound of it.
Well, you mentioned the symphonic sound, and Till I Die has more of a straight ahead kind of rock
Yeah.
sound. And both those
Wanted to
songs
go
very
all
much,
cowboy. We wanted to go cowboy up on that.
I mean, both the
Um,
songs really, are indicative of, what we know from Robin McAuley. So, I mean, is there anything on this album that you might think might be a surprise to someone, or is it straight along these kind of lines of what we know and expect?
it's a lot more edgy. It's a lot more guitar driven. I love my guitar player, Andreas Leveso, and while he's all over standing on the edge and alive, I wanted him to be more upfront on this because he's just a great guitar player, and I love his melodies. I love his structures, and I wanted a little bit more of him, and that's what we did. Heavier on the drum and on the bottom end, and that's what we went for on this one. And I'm happy how it turned out. I'm very happy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
and
between
it's more structured. It's definitely more guitar driven. The whole record. Soulbound is probably that one track that's a bit more. I don't want to say rounded, but it's got a lot more elements in it than the rest of them. The rest of them are pretty raw, but I like to mix it up. So.
the title track and even the album artwork, it's got kind of a religious overtone to it. Is there a thematic quality to that, or is this more just
You
kind of an
know,
imagery thing?
so I have the same graphic artist, Nello, uh, Nello Del Olmo. Like I used him on Standing on the Edge and on Alive.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, I basically presented all my ideas to him that for Standing on the Edge. It was that sort of during the pandemic, that sort of, the hell is burning, and here we are. My God, hell is burning right now. It's funny.
Right.
Um, Alive, I had this whole Frankenstein thing, with the incubator, and this time I basically said I'd love this sort of a gothic inside a church, reaching up, good and bad, light and shade, that sort of stuff, light and darkness. And I literally said, "That's my idea. Run with it." And he came back with it, and we tweaked it a little bit, and I think it's great. It's pretty cool. I like it. I
Yeah.
don't know if it's religious. It wasn't really the intent. It was more to be soul searching, you know, darkness into the light, good and bad, kind of the times we're living in,
Yeah.
all looking, all looking for something, you
Right.
know, looking for
That,
something different. Yeah.
I mean, that's kind
Maybe
of
I,
a
call,
theme you can
maybe
see.
should have called it soul searching and not so.
Right. I mean, that's kind of a theme you can see between these most recent three solo albums of yours. It's kind of a, life, death, introspective kind of thing, and the thematics of
Yeah.
all the songs. Is that kind of just where you're at in your life, or
I think it's it's an overview, if you will.
yeah,
I think we're all kind of in and out of that. We're walking through that door each and every day, and sometimes we like what's on the other side of the door. Sometimes we're going, shh, yet I still haven't found it, and it's always good to strive for something. I'm always trying to do the next best thing for me and my family, and maybe it's introspective, maybe it's where I'm at, and I don't really think about it too much. It comes out that way. People usually say, "Dude, where did those lyrics come from?" And I'm going, I wrote this maybe 6 months ago, and at the time maybe I was there, I couldn't even tell you, but
yeah,
that's where I was when I was putting the song together, and then I moved to the next, and I'm going, how did I ever do that? So I think that's what life is like. Every day's a new challenge. So I don't know if that answers your question, but there you have
yeah,
it.
for sure. Well, you mentioned working with Aldo a bit ago,
Yeah.
and besides just the guitar-driven aspect that you kind of mentioned, like what else did he bring to the album from a production quality that might be different from your previous albums?
Um, um, he, we discussed the bottom end. We just it's more drive in it, and he goes, well, one of his first things, he goes, I'm kind of a shredder myself. And I went, well, I'm talking to the right guy because I really want more guitar driven, heavy on the drums, heavy on the bass end, and I want a raw production. And he says, I hope you like what I do. This is some of the other stuff. And I says, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. I didn't get in his way too much. I tweaked a few things, um, especially on with the drums. I tweaked a few things, and we got it where we could find it. And I'm happy, and I think he's happy. He's happier than I'm happy.
Right.
I'm not too difficult. I'm easy to make happy. You know, he should come work for Black Swan, then he'll know what it's like.
Yeah. When you get a
uh,
few more personalities in the mix there, yeah.
Speaking of which, there is a new Black Swan. Just finished it actually, and it's heading for drums and mixing, and it's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
So a little bit more information. Yeah, and this record will drop officially February 28th, and I think we might dish out two more singles before that, before the drop date. One before and one on the drop date. February 28th, it will be available on Frontiers Music,
Okay.
SRF.
Right. And
And
is
I'm also playing the Frontiers Festival this year too, which they haven't done for a number of years. So 3 days in April, 26, 27, 25, 26, 27. And I'll be on the third day, April 27th,
wow.
in Milan. So if you're not doing anything, come to Milan.
Hop over to Milan. Yeah.
Come to Milan. Yeah.
You mentioned another Black Swan album. Whenever you've got two albums like that coming out the same year, do they separate them on purpose? Like, I mean, I know you've got a whole other band of guys that, are dealing with Black Swan,
Yeah.
but is it like, let's not make these things come out within a few months. Let's separate it by 6, 8
I
years.
don't even know if that's what happened this time.
Yeah.
I think this is just where the timing fell on this
Okay.
one. I I think this record should have been out earlier. Um, for one thing and another, and people changing, and commitments because there was touring taking place, just was too hard to get it done. And as I'm sort of closing the solo record, Black Swan is kicking in, and I started Black Swan earlier on in the year, so we thought we'd get that finished earlier. But then Jeff's schedule and Reb's schedule and Matt's schedule started to get crazy, and suddenly everybody's like everywhere.
Yeah.
And we're going, guys, we need to get this done. And I go, well, and the world keeps turning. So back into I got back into the recording of Black Swan maybe about a month ago now, and we crashed that out, got it done. Um, and now we're just waiting for drums and mixing, and everything else is done. And we're very happy with it. I think Jeff said maybe March. So this will
Okay.
be done, and then we can transition. So
Right.
we'll keep the momentum going.
Right.
That'd be cool. Yeah. And then March, I Monsters of Rock. I played Monsters of Rock with MSG.
That's
So
right.
I'll be on the cruise with MSG, and then I think Michael's taking his UFO thing out on the road, for an extended period. So we'll see what happens after that. But I'll be busy. I have solo shows. I leave for Sweden in 2 weeks for solo. Then I have Germany and I have the UK, and I think Spain. So lots to do.
Yeah. It's going to
Lots
be
to
a
do.
busy year. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. It's awesome. Yeah.
On the Black Swan album, can you speak a bit on the music? Is it I mean, like, is there a progression of the first two albums, or how would you
Heavier
compare it?
than hell.
Heavier than hell? All right. That's what
It's
we want to hear.
it's really good. And not heavy for the sake of it. It's just really good. Great songs again. Guys are very particular about the material, and we work hard on it. And a lot of catchy melodies, but like it drives really good. Reb is that dude slams, man. He is on fire on this one. There's some great stuff on this record. There really is. And you're just going that beats at his best. Yeah. I think you're gonna love it.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
And of course, congratulations to Foreigner on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and all of that sort of stuff. So
Of
Jeff's
course.
crazy with a lot of that stuff. The rest of his January is just going to get slammed.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a nice complaint to be busy.
Right.
That there's a lot that's not busy, but we're seem to keep it going.
Yeah.
And as long as people want to hear it, hopefully we can keep making it. So that's a blessing right
Yeah.
there. That's a
Yeah.
blessing.
Especially with, like you just mentioned, how busy, the collective band members are.
Yeah, yeah.
Most of the time these super groups get put together. It's like a one-off project. So what is it that you
No,
think have kept you guys together
we were
producing?
never happy with that. Very first call I ever got from Jeff was, "Hey, Serafino wants to put together a super group," and I went, "Oh, that's a horrible idea." And I went, and he knows me. Jeff and I go back a long, long way.
Right.
And I said,
MSG, right? Yeah.
yeah. And I said, don't you just hate that title, supergroup? What's a supergroup? Bunch of posers. That's what that is. And I said, I'm really not interested. Just don't want to have anything to do with that. If you're going to make some great music, that'll be cool. And I says, with you and Red Beach, we're off to a flying start, but just kill that old supergroup thing. And here we are, 3 records in. And unfortunately, we never did get to see the light of day. But you never say never.
Yeah.
I'll be seeing Reb at the Frontiers Festival, and I also saw him on Sweden Rock when MSG played the Winger. So there's little chats going on. He goes, "Oh yeah, dude, that'd be cool.
Right.
Let's make it cooler,
Right.
man."
Well, I mean, since Standing on the Edge and Alive and now Soulbound, you've got a new solo album every couple years, and you've got these Black Swan albums we mentioned. Like, how
I
does
know
it feel?
we're six deep now for
Yeah,
Frontier. That's pretty
yeah.
cool.
I mean, at this stage in your career, how does it feel to have that much output, and this so much more Robin McAuley than we ever expected? It's great.
I know I'm not actually not supposed to be. It's not really me. I'm not supposed to be doing this.
Right.
Yeah, I honest to God, Trent, I didn't expect to be doing this. I never wanted to do a solo record because I said to Serafino when he offered it to me, who the hell wants to listen to me solo? And he goes, oh, you'd be surprised. And I'm going, I'd be really surprised. And sort of, it sat for a long time before we actually did Black Swan before I did the solo, you know,
Right.
and that was like, are you ready now? So it wasn't something I was chomping at the bit to do. I don't see myself as a solo artist. But here we are,
Yeah.
three records in. So what the hell do I know?
When you
Yeah.
mentioned these shows, the festival shows you got coming up, you did one a few months ago at Firefest. Like,
I did Firefest, yes,
where
which
you're
was
doing
awesome.
these solo shows where you're playing kind of a career introspective. Like, is that something we can expect more going forward? Yeah.
There's a bunch of promoters who keep sending me emails and going, we've seen the MSG shows and we just don't get this block of McAuley Schenker, and we would really like to get this block of McAuley Schenker. Why don't you come out and do this? And you can mix your solo in, go all the way back to your Grand Prix days. I had the Grand Prix guys guest with me at Firefest, and it was both amazing and emotional all at the same time, because we hadn't actually set foot on stage together in a very long time.
Yeah.
And it was a magical moment. And I know that sounds a cliche, but it really was. And so then more promoters jumped in. I went, dude, that was super cool. You want to really seriously think about doing some more? And then suddenly here I am. I'll have two in Sweden. I'll have two in Germany. I think I have two in Spain. I think about a dozen in the UK. And I'm going, huh? Did I sign off on this? And it's a huge compliment. Um, Different bands. I'm using a band in Sweden called Gathering of Kings, which are well known. Great band. Check them out on YouTube. A really, really good band. They'll be my band for Sweden. And then I use a different bunch of guys from Taiketo and just a great lineup. Josh Devine on drums, who's like a monster, who actually hails from the band One Direction.
Oh, wow.
And you need to watch this guy. He's young and he's an absolute monster drummer. I just praise him to the high heavens because he's just that good. Um, Wayne Banks on bass guitar that goes out with the classic rock performance, the classic rock show.
Okay.
Amazing. And Keith Attack on guitar that actually hails from Bonnie Tyler way back. He's my MD. And John Parr, and just I'm blessed, dude. It's like they're just great, great musicians. And they're up on stage with me, and I'm going, damn, this is cooler than cool. And what's really important is that the songs from Standing on the Edge and the songs from Alive and the MSG songs, the McAuley Schenker songs, sound just like the damn record.
Yeah.
With more of an edge live, which we sort of bring today's sound into it just to give it that little extra booster. And I'm going, this shit never sounded so good.
Yeah.
And it's great. So we're having a blast. And as long as we can meet the requirements and get up there, I think we want to do quite a bit in 25. So watch for it. Watch for it. You heard it here first. Yeah, yeah, it's good. I can't believe I'm still working. It's great. But I am still having a lot of fun. So I
Is
think that keeps me going. I just, it's the voice is still there. So as long
yeah.
as my voice is there and I'm healthy, I'm going. My wife just would go, you need to go and do something.
Yeah.
She knows if I'm home, I'm bored. And so she's super, super, super supportive. She always has been. She goes, you're only happy when you're doing your stuff. So go do your stuff, you
That's great.
know? And so it's fantastic, yeah. And she's a busy, busy, busy woman, and she comes with me whenever she can, which is great because I like her. She's my shoulder because I'm always bitching about something.
That's great. Well, when you talk about playing, shows with different, different lineups, is it easy for you to transition between different players when you're playing the same songs or?
That's a great
Yeah.
question. I mean, I would love to be able to have the same band all the time. Logistically, it just doesn't work out that way. Because if I'm going this part of Europe and that part of Europe, which is not close to each other, um, it makes it logistically, budget wise, and interestingly enough, um, when I got offered Sweden, these guys through the promoters were going, but we have to be your band because we want to be your band. So there is that really nice little added element that comes into the picture, that I never expected. I thought I'd be struggling to find guys that would be willing to do it, and instead I get these guys going, we have to be the band, this is what it is, and we're right there, we love this material, it's like we grew up with this stuff, this is what we want to do. And I had it, middle of last year, I went down to Brazil, and I walked into the rehearsal room and these guys started playing the songs, and I swear to God, I'm going, are you kidding me? I mean, it was like, it was right there. I mean, it was like, turn out the lights, put the turntable on, and listen to the backing tracks. And I'm going, sounds like the damn record. How did you guys do that? And they were just laughing and having a fun. And that's what was cool. I did a show with John Corabi and what's his name? Mark Mortensen from the band Eclipse.
Oh,
And
yeah.
we did the show, and Ches Kane. And it was just, it was awesome. It was off the hook. It was just killer. And then it's when they came out of the woodwork and go, we need to do more of this.
Yeah.
And it was fantastic. So, I guess it ain't over till I say so. Or something. I just make the shit up as I go. Yeah.
Well, like you said, Monsters of Rock with Michael Schenker Group was. I also saw you had a couple. There's a couple tracks coming out with you on vocals. Is there a new uh,
There's a new MSG
Michael
record.
Schenker Fest album
Yeah.
coming out with multiple
Yeah.
singers?
It's
Or
not
okay.
Schenker Fest this time. It's Michael Schenker record,
Oh, okay.
Michael Schenker group. I have two songs on there. And like I said earlier, he's going to use Eric Gronwald for his UFO 50 years of. Um, and I'm hearing reports he might use them for the MSG stuff if they do a tour. We were supposed to transition out of the Monsters of Rock cruise into a US tour. Then that got pushed because of the UFO release. So we'll see what happens at the back end of the year if the MST stuff goes ahead, and who it'll be. Michael's always changing it up. So it's his birthday today, by the way. So
Oh, well,
Happy Schenker birthday today, Michael.
yeah.
Yeah, his birthday today.
So on the Monsters of Rock, are you handling vocals like on the entire set, or is it like
That's the
okay,
deal. That's what I know so far.
okay,
I'm just the singer. I'm the last to know.
right,
I don't even know what the set list is yet, but I have a good idea.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So I'll knuckle down on that as soon as I come back from Sweden.
right on. Well, man, I'm really looking forward to hearing all this music you got coming between everything Black Swan, your solo album, this
Thanks,
Michael
Brent.
Schenker music, and
Thank you.
everything. And really hope I get a chance to see you live at some point if it happens in America.
If we come your way, I'll knock on your door and let you know what's going on.
Absolutely, I appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
There you go, Robin McAuley. A huge thank you to Jody Best of Best Bet Promotions for her continued support of this podcast throughout the years. And of course, a massive thank you to Robin for taking some time out there to talk to me about his brand new solo album, the new album forthcoming from Black Swan, and of course, many other things there throughout his career. Like I mentioned up front, Soulbound comes out February 28th. Black Swan, as you heard, should be out here later this year. And if this is your first time listening because you're a fan of Robin McAuley, there's previous episodes you can check out. Like I said, the Eddie Van Halen tribute episode, which is a huge episode that Robin was a part of, episode 292. It was also in episode 255. Most recently, before this one, was episode 369. So dig through those. Dig through all of them. There's 409 previous episodes to this one you can check out. Just this past week, Bumblefoot was on the podcast. That was a really cool one, just talking about his brand new solo album, his work with Asia, Guns N' Roses, Sons of Apollo, all that great stuff. This past year had on Adrian Vandenberg from Whitesnake, Corey Glover and Vernon Reid from Living Colour, Keith Wallen of Breaking Benjamin, Ricky Medlock of Leonard Skinnerd, Jeff Pilson, of course, of Black Swan with Robin, and most notably, a member of Dokken, and for the past 20 years or so of Foreigner. Had on Reb Beach, also of Black Swan, most notably of Winger, and of Whitesnake for the past 20-some years. And speaking of Whitesnake, like I said, Reb Beach, Adrian Vandenberg, Brian Tishy, a fantastic drummer who was a member of Whitesnake for a while, and a member of, Ozzy and many other great things throughout the years. Dean Castronovo was a former drummer of Ozzy, and a more notably longtime member of Journey. He's been on here. Frank Cannon of Tesla several times. Mark Kendall of Great White a couple times. Mark Slaughter, Dee Snider of Twisted Sister, Jeff Tate of Queensryche. Members of Megadeth, Shinedown, Hailstorm, Three Doors Down, Guns N' Roses, Deep Purple, Vivian Campbell of Def Leppard and Dio. The list, my friends, is huge and it is long. You can listen pretty much anywhere podcasts are heard, wherever you're listening right now. If you hit like, subscribe, follow, all that great stuff, you won't miss future episodes. I've got several, actually, three right now, scheduled to record. So as soon as those happen, you'll see an announcement on the socials and you'll hear about it on the next episode as well. Follow on all those socials. I'm also on TikTok. I'm on X. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. On YouTube, even though that doesn't get updated as much as it should. But whether you do your thing, if you see a post, all you got to do is like or share or comment, and that always helps out greatly. Once again, a massive thank you to everyone for checking this episode out. Huge thank you to DEB Concerts and Sunset Tattoo. Massive thanks to Best Bet Promotions. And of course, a huge thank you to Robin McAuley. And until next time.
Thunder Underground, y'all.